The great house at Collinwood stands deserted. The living have sought refuge elsewhere, leaving an evil spirit to roam the cold, empty corridors alone. At the old house, Barnabas Collins remains in a trance. He has employed the mysterious powers of the I Ching and gone through the door to the infinite, hoping to find and defeat the spirit that haunts Collinwood. But beyond the door, he has been transported back in time to the year 1897, a time of crisis for every Collins, a time of suspense and sorrow, for the matriarch of the house is dead.
I can't. She'll always be alive to me. If you'd only known her, how much richer your life would have been.
I'm sure.
She raised us when our parents died. She loved us all, even Quentin. I suppose I must look at her, mustn't I?
Yes. You'll feel better if you just let yourself cry.
No, she wouldn't want me to. She didn't believe in showing emotion. She said we simply had to live through what we had to go through and hold our heads high. I must act as she would want me to, even though everything else is wrong. Do you believe in the hereafter?
The important question is, do you?
I sometimes wish I didn't. If she's watching us, how distressed she must be. Her will missing. Everyone upset about it. Where can it be?
Do you think someone took it?
No, of course not. She just didn't put it where she said she would. Do you think someone stole it?
The possibility of that has occurred to me, I must admit.
But why would he take it?
He?
Why would anyone take it? Tell me. If you know. Tell me.
I'm not even going to speculate on why anyone would take the will or who did it.
But you think someone has?
But your grandmother, certainly, from what I've heard, was not the sort of woman who said when she was going to do something that she didn't do it. She certainly wouldn't have placed the will in a special place in her coffin and then forget to have it put there.
Maybe she told that gypsy woman to do it, and Magda kept it.
Why would Magda do it? What would she have to gain?
It must be she.
But you said, why would he?
I don't want to discuss it.
Evan, can you talk? I have it here in my hand. Nothing, that's what I got, absolutely nothing. The gypsy was right. But we've got to do something quickly. Can you alert your man tonight? When then? Well, we've got to get started. Who is it?
It's Barnabas. Judith said you wanted to speak to me.
Listen, I've got to go. Yes, all right, goodbye. Come in, won't you?
Thank you.
You're a very odd man, Mr. Collins. I find it hard to figure out exactly what you want in this house, why you're here.
Do you spend much time thinking about it?
Recently I have, yes. Why are you here?
Did you ask me to your room just to have me explain myself? Or are you interested to find out why I have accused you of stealing Mrs. Collins' will?
Oh, that. But I'm used to being accused of everything that happens. Everything bad, that is. Won't you come in?
I Ching Wans. Are you interested in this?
I picked them up in the Far East. One of my trips when the family and I thought it best for all concerned if I saw more of the world. I know nothing about them, of course.
Don't you?
Why did you accuse me of taking the will?
Because I believe you did.
And what evidence do you have?
Very little.
Except an eye for character? Why would I take it?
I'm looking forward to finding that out.
You never will.
You're wrong. You won't get away with it. Your grandmother won't let you.
Grandmother? Grandmother's in heaven now with the rest of the family. I'm quite sure that the Collins have a special section all picked out where they can be all alone together.
I believe your grandmother is still on this earth.
What do you mean?
Where I come from, there is a theory that when someone dies with business unfinished, their spirit lingers to finish what has been left undone.
Do you really expect me to believe that? I suddenly am to keep my eyes open for Grandmother's ghost when it appears?
Stranger things have happened.
Tell me, is she listening to this conversation?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
You're wrong. The grandmother I knew would hardly be quiet this long.
The Mrs. Collins I knew wouldn't let anyone ruin her plans for that will. She will not rest in peace until it is found. You will discover that, Quentin.
The children, of course, will attend the funeral. Nora will be in black, and Jameson will wear his dark suit. I think you should attend the services.
I was planning to, Miss Collins.
I hope you have something suitable to wear. It's most important that we have a simple and dignified funeral. Oh, Barnabas, I was just going over Edward's list of the pallbearers. Do you know Rachel Drummond, our governess?
How do you do?
Oh, Mr. Collins is a cousin from England.
Well, how do you do?
Of course, Edward and I will want you to serve as a pallbearer. The funeral will be at 2 o'clock tomorrow.
2? Well, I'm afraid that I won't be able to be there.
Really?
I have some business in Bangor.
Surely you can postpone it.
Oh, I only wish I could.
But you must try.
Well, I will, but please don't count on me.
Oh, well, said Edward very much. I must tell him at once.
Are you correcting papers?
Nora and Jameson each wrote a composition. It's all I had them do. The house has been so unsettled
It must be hard for you.
for everyone.
Tell me, have you been in the house where I'm staying? The old house, they call it. There's a portrait there of a girl. She bears a strong resemblance to you.
Really? Was she a Collins?
Yes. She came here from Martinique to marry an ancestor of mine. I got my name from him. They never did marry. She married his uncle. And so Barnabas killed Jeremiah in a duel.
What a tragic story. But it really happened?
Yes.
I'm fascinated by the past.
Are you?
Yes. I think that's one reason why I chose to become a governess. Sometimes the things that I teach are as alive for me as your story. I should love to see the portrait sometime.
Yes, you must.
story has made Jameson's composition seem rather dull. I'm a romantic, I'm afraid.
That's the way you should be.
Well, perhaps, but I think sometimes I carry it much too far. I tend to see only the things that I want to see, and I ignore all the unpleasant things in life. I could never write an accurate composition or a history. I'm afraid that even if I were to write a story about today, about your people and what's happening here, I would ignore death and that unpleasantness, and I would somehow find love and mystery and romance. I'm trying to become a realist. I think I should try.
I'm sorry, Edward isn't here. But really, Judith, your problem is very easily solved. If Barnabas cannot come to the funeral, curious as that may be, then there is one person who can come, and someone who should be the pallbearer.
Who?
Sanda the gypsy, of course.
Quentin.
Sheila adored them, you know that.
If you can't be serious, it would be best to be silent. You say things that make me think you're capable of anything. Quentin, look.
What is it?
That lace glove.
Yes.
Don't touch it.
Why?
I saw that glove less than an hour ago.
Where?
You must remember. On Grandmother's hand in the coffin.
2 pairs, that's all.
No. I chose her clothes. That was her favorite pair. She ordered others, but they never arrived. That glove was on her hand, Quentin, and you know it. I'm frightened.
You always were a scaredy cat. I remember that. I always hated playing with you.
I'm not a child now, Quentin. Open the door.
After you.
Quentin. I've got to sit down.
It's a trick, that's all. Someone did it deliberately.
Who? Why?
To scare one of us.
No one would do that. No one.
Well, for once at least, you can't accuse me.
Do you suppose his spirit is...
Oh, what would a spirit be doing wearing a glove? You've got to be logical about this, Judith.
How can I be? There's nothing logical about it. This isn't a trick. No one did this, I know it.
But then how do you explain it?
She's looking for her will.
Oh, that's insane. She's in her coffin. She's been there all along.
Someone must stay in this room. The body mustn't be left alone.
But I'm afraid that's going to have to be you. I'm not going to stay.
You're frightened, Quentin, aren't you?
Of course not. I simply refuse to give in to this superstitious nonsense about ghosts and wills, that's all. Here.
If you could only speak and tell us. There's so much left to tell us.
The very person I wanted to see.
I don't believe that.
Why should you? You never believe anything I say. Or do you?
Very little of it.
Well, you should have believed that, because it was true. Sometimes at night, this house, when I think of all the strange and unexplainable things that have happened here, as if a curse had been put on it. You don't believe in curses, of course.
No,
You are much too modern.
I hope so.
I like that in you. You know, no matter how far I've gotten away from Collinwood, I seem to have belonged to it more and more. And that makes me very unhappy.
It must.
Thank goodness. For once, you're not snapping and biting, taking the opposite side.
I know what it's like wanting to get away from some place, some people, some things.
Do you?
I'm sorry I said that.
Why?
You'll keep bringing it up. You won't stop trying to find out more about it.
You know something? We're friends. After years of battling, 2 minutes, and we're friends. Perhaps you'll even agree that we could be more than friends.
Miss Judith wants me to sit with her in the coffin room for a
Could
while.
we talk more later?
I'm not sure.
Please? I need you. I'll be in my room.
I'm not sure.
Aren't you ready?
Dirk. Oh, I can't go. Miss Judith asked me to
I
stay.
have the carriage waiting.
They simply won't let me off.
They did me. You didn't ask, did you?
Yes. Yes, of course I asked.
No, you didn't. You know something? Someday you're really gonna make me mad.
Well, backstairs excitement. Sorry to surprise you, Dirk. Your taste is excellent.
Hey, what are you doing downstairs? I just passed your room. You were inside.
Are you
somebody?
Are you sure? Thanks, Dirk.
Tomorrow night?
I'm not sure.
Tomorrow night.
We'll see.
Beth, why are you treating me this way? Why?
So I'm supposed to have done all this
You know it.
and taken your grandmother's glove and put it outside.
Yes, that too.
Well, I have been a busy man, haven't I?
Too busy. Like most amateurs, you didn't know when to stop. You made the mistake of doing more than a ghost could.
Well, I thought of the fact that ghosts often searched for something missing.
You are the ghost.
Prove it.
I want you to stop it. No more.
I don't think that's true, and I think you know that.
Well, then, if you didn't do it, who did?
That's for you to decide, Quentin. Tell me what happened. Did your grandmother find the will? Is that what is upsetting you?
Get out! Who's in this room? Who are you? Dirk! Go get the oil lamp. It's on the table in the corner.
Why are the lights out in here? They're not out in any other room in the house. Hey, what's the matter with you?
Where's it coming from?
What?
That sound.
I don't hear anything.
What? Of course you do. It's like something beating. Like a heart.
Hey, you been drinking?
No.
Look, what'd you get me up here for? Fix this light?
I want you to get me a carriage. Have to get out of here. Go into town.
Are you crazy? It's late. The stable boys are asleep.
Well, wake them up!
That's not my job. You go do it. I happen to be overseer of these grounds, and that's all. And don't forget it.
You must be able to hear it now.
You must!
I told you I don't hear anything.
You're lying! You're in on this! You're lying!
Don't you ever call me a liar.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop.
Well, what are you doing here?
Miss Judith sent me to get...
Beth, that's just an excuse. You're on your way to see him, aren't you?
She doesn't want to stay in the room any longer. She wants him to come and sit with the body.
Listen, let them bring their own messages. Now, I've seen the way you look at it. Beth, stay away from Quentin Collins.